Hello everyone and welcome back to our Reactjs interview series. Today we have another exciting episode for you as we continue to explore the world of Reactjs and JavaScript. I have removed the basic introductory part. I have also provided the answer to questions which I wasn't able to give in the interview. Please watch the video at the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Reactjs interviews. Thank you.
Hello, hi Deepa.
Hello Shilpa. Good evening.
Hi Mama. Good evening.
Hi Shilpa, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah. So I'll take over, Deepa. Thank you.
Okay, Shilpa then. Yeah, thank you. I'll drop the call.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So when we're implementing any of these workflows, did you face any challenges, complexities?
Yes, we do get challenges while coding, but the solution we will get from Senior or from the Google after searching.
Okay. So tell me, what are the major features of React?
So major feature of a React is it uses virtual DOM instead of real DOM, which make application run faster. It supports server-side rendering. It follows unidirectional data flow. And the major feature is it allows us to create reusable component.
Okay. How does virtual DOM work?
So virtual DOM is same as a real DOM, but it doesn't have authority to directly change the real DOM. So whenever there is a change in a component, whenever there is change in a state, a new virtual DOM is created and comparison done between old virtual DOM and new virtual DOM. And React do the calculation and change only the updated component in the real DOM.
Okay. So what is JSX?
So JSX is syntax extension of JavaScript, basically which allows us to write HTML along with JavaScript.
Okay. So how do you do looping operation in JSX?
Looping operation using
Yes.
means map function.
So then why are key parameters important when you're using map operation?
Keys are the special types of props used by React to keep the tracks of things. So whenever there change in a list, so React can update only that item. For that, it uses React key. Internally, React uses the key to track the list of items which we are rendering through our map.
What is difference between map and forEach?
So for each modify the original array and map returns the new array.
Okay. Uh, so what are the difference between state and props?
State is in plain object which holds the information of a component which may change over a life cycle of a component. Uh, and props is a way of passing data from its parent to its child.
How do you update the values of state and props?
Yes, state values can be updated. We get a set state method.
So is set state method synchronous or asynchronous?
Set state is asynchronous.
So if you have to do some kind of synchronous workflow using a state update, how will you perform?
Uh, uh, Means we have to use the state. We can like in the set state, we can have previous state, that callback function where we can do the call our asynchronous, whatever we want to call.
So, how do you prevent a component from re-rendering?
We can like use react.memo. We can wrap our component with react.memo.
Okay. Is there any other way?
Yes, we have use memo and use callback. These all are the hooks used to optimize our React application to stop unnecessary re-rendering of component.
Okay. So, what are higher order components?
Higher order components are the components which takes input as a component and returns a new component.
Can you give me an example?
Like we can say uh, React.memo is a higher order component. It's take a component, return a component.
Okay. So, what are error boundaries?
So error boundaries, if there is an error in our React application, we can throw an error that can be catched by that error component. Uh, to use error boundaries, we have to use class component.
So, what is the difference between an error boundary and a try catch block?
Try catch block.
Yes.
So to handle the asynchronous activity, we use we have a promise uh, to perform asynchronous activity in a async function. We use try catch method. I'm not sure about error boundaries.
Okay. So, you have worked using functional components with React hooks.
Functional.
So, if you have to migrate a class component to a functional component and handle all the lifecycle methods,
Hmm.
how will you implement that?
So to initialize state in functional component, we have used state hooks, and to handle side effects in our component like component did mount, component will unmount, we have useEffect for that. useEffect with the empty array of dependency will act as a component did mount, and with passing a variable in dependency array will act as a component will update whenever they change in a variable, and we can write a return a function in useEffect which will act as a component will unmount.
In case you do not add or you do not have the dependency array as a parameter, how will the user effect behave?
Then our component will be going to infinite chain of updates.
So, uh, why do we need to use the Redux in React project?
So like to avoid props drilling, we have to we have if you want to pass data from one component to a sibling component, then we have to move our state up to its parent. So avoid this, we can create a store global state using redux. Redux is a javascript library used to manage state in a react application. It's a state management application used to create a central state in our application so that each component can have directly access to this state. So avoiding props dealing, we don't have to like pass props from child to its child to its child.
Okay. So should we keep all component state in Redux store?
Should we keep?
All component states in Redux store.
Yes, we can, because we can create a, like in Redux toolkit, we can create a different slice for each state.
Yeah, but is it a compulsory that we keep all states in Redux store?
No, it is not compulsory. We can use also we can use context API for creating our state, central state.
Okay, how do you make API calls from Redux?
So since we have to, APIs are like unsynchronous, so we cannot call from pure. In Redux, we have to emit an action to change the state. That's actions are pure functions. That's called reducers. So reducer are pure functions which cannot handle asynchronous activity. So to handle asynchronous activity, we have to use a middleware like Redux Thunk.
Okay. So can you explain a flow of how you will from a component towards a Redux update? The complete flow, how it will work?
Yes. So we create a store, and that and React Redux will provide a provider. We can wrap our store. We can wrap our application with that provider component and pass state as a store. It will take and store props. Then in child component, we can access that state by uh, use selector, and to emit action we have to use dispatch. To we have to like import use dispatch from Redux, and we can emit the actions using dispatch function. And if you want to use the state in our component, we can use selector.
Okay. Um, if you need to reset the complete Redux store to initial state, how will you create an action for that?
If you want to reset all the state,
Full state store values, right?
yes,
Complete store value, if you want to reset it, like say when you do a logout operation, when we redirect to a landing screen after logout, I would like to have all the values that were set reset back to the initial state.
yes. Like we can create a function method reset, where we can like set all our values to previous state, initial state.
Is, is there any direct way? Like I might have multiple states in the store, right? So everything all together, is there a way? There may be many objects in a state.
Yes, like in state we have multiple values, like
So you have worked on using React routers, right?
yes,
So how do you define page not found route?
page not found.
Yeah.
So we can like say we can like we can give our URL, and if we doesn't match any those URL, we can give like star catch all route to page not defined.
So how do you prevent browser back action through a route?
Browser back,
Back action. Yeah.
like I think we can I think I have used that. I'm not recalling that, but I have use location. I think state equals to true. This I'm not recalling, but I have done that.
Okay. So how do you programmatically navigate to a different page?
Yes, we can use like use navigate hook, which is provided by React Router. So we can say const navigate equals to use navigate, and based on our condition when we want to go to like home or about page, we can just pass that string to our navigate function method.
Okay, I think I'm done, Mohammed. We'll get back to you on this. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.